Listen, on the latest episode of P.kidd Talks NBA, I gotta go into what the Houston Rockets are building over there. I like the fact that they're actually trying to make some moves. They're trying to move and shake and trying to get themselves back into a position of some type of relevance after pretty much being trashed for the last couple of years. So really since James Harden left. So I actually like the fact that they've been able to kind of stay relevant to some degree. But if any team had took an L over the last 5 days, it got to be the Houston Rockets. I mean, at this particular point, they've signed Dillon Brooks to $80 million contract over 4, so $20 million a year, which even by his own expectation was a little more than he initially expected. In fact, there was a previous report that said he was expecting somewhere between the $12 to $15 million a year range, which for his position, what he's been able to bring to the table and stuff like that, especially when he was with the Memphis Grizzlies, guess what? I could absolutely see that being his value. Like, that was a good move. However, Houston was like, nah, my boy, I got you. Hey, just because you solid, bam, I'm going to give you extra $5 million a year. They're just tossing out an extra dollar like that. Like, I don't understand what's going on right there. But talk about fleece, they got fleeced, in my opinion. Then all of a sudden, before then, they rolled around, and I guess they just being generous at this particular point. But they gave your boy Fred VanVleet $130 million over 3. What? Hey, fam, listen, I don't understand what that was about, but I'm going to say this. To have $210 million tied into two players who, I'm going to be honest with you, they don't move the needle that much for you to be giving up that much bread for. But, obviously that's what the Houston Rockets was looking for. They wanted to make some moves. They wanted to add some people to their roster. Now, collectively, with all their young talent and who they in these particular signings, it looks good. Now, would I would have paid $210 million to see it come to fruition? Nah. But hey, I guess scared money doesn't make money in this particular league. But this also goes to show people that the money is going up. There's a lot of people who have star players on there who are getting the bag. If you don't know, there's some people who, like LaMelo Ball just got basically $51 million a year. Ridiculous money. Now, I understand that you want to keep, he's their franchise player at this particular point. They want to keep him under wraps and things of that nature, and that's cool. And the money is going up. Don't mind you, the money is going up. The cap is going up at least 10% every year for the next couple of years, I do believe. So I can't expect that some of these players are going to start signing astronomical contracts, but this also puts things into perspective, especially if you're like someone like a Bulls fan who saw Zach LaVine get $215 million. They were like, man, that's a whole lot of money to tie into one player. Hey, guess what? He makes less than Fred VanVleet at this point. Fred VanVleet makes more than Kyrie Irving, who is by far a better point guard. I don't care what anybody says. Kyrie is a 50, 90, 40 player. Bro, like, it is what it is. The money is going up. There's a couple other people who got max contracts that's flirting with $200 to $220 million. Like, the money has gone up. But the Houston Rockets, I'm going to just say this. Y'all going to have to hold that one for quite some time, because that right there, bugging. I can't even understand what that was. I can't even conceptualize what you all are trying to build over there, because it doesn't even make sense to me. It doesn't even make sense to me. Fred VanVleet ain't worth $42 million at all. I don't care what. Fred VanVleet was looking at somebody potentially giving him, 30 a year? Like, that's what a lot of people were expecting. But to give him 43? Woo! Talk about desperate times calls for desperate measures, because that's exactly what it looks like for the Houston Rockets. Now, here's the thing. I want to hear y'all thoughts. I mean, if you're a Houston Rocket fan, you got to make it make sense for me, baby. You got to make it make sense for your boy, because I don't understand how you all allowed. Ain't like y'all could have stopped it. But I want to hear how you feel about having $210 million tied to these particular two players over the next 3 to 4 years. What does it mean for your franchise? Somebody got to make it make sense for me. I gotta understand where you all are going with it, because right now all I see is a massive salary dump for two players who don't move the needle. I'm not a fan of it. Never was a fan of those. I'm not a fan of tying that much money to those two players. Period. Again, whether it's left, whether it's hate, put it in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, though, man. I want to hear your thoughts. I got to hear what you think. I got to hear what you expect. Until next time, man, just bugging.